Hello and welcome to the watering hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Cirrus over there. Cirrus, how's it going?
I thought that I was live this entire time. I
Oh.
thought that my chat was just really, really low. No,
Have you been talking this whole time?
could not access specified channel or stream key. Yay! It's one of those days again where I just can't stream to my own channels.
Oh, stuff says immediate hat.
I'm so happy.
I mean, my phone said ooh at me when I hit go live, so I assume that meant that you hit go live around the same time.
I did hit go live. It didn't do anything.
Thank you, Davies TJ, for subscribing. Appreciate that.
Let's see if maybe I can do this then. Oh, it's... And where's the zoom? Where did zoom go? Oh, cool. Everything's just broken.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awful.
Okay, well, speaking of us singing, I'm going to just post that link and get it out of the way, because some asshole sent me $40 last week and was like, sing, bitch!
How dare you?
So, we sang, I think we said last week that we would, do it on, we'd prepare and do it on this stream, but then it occurred to us after the fact that, oh no, that will just get our streams taken down for copyright, because the Has Been Hotel songs are all copyrighted, and I have used footage of them in videos and stuff to, I have a feel for how much you can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, no, we can't do a whole song. Absolutely not. So we just did it behind the scenes, and I have it uploaded. I've just sent the link to my chat. That's an unlisted video that you can go watch that if you really want to hear me and Cirrus sing. We were not good.
We did terribly.
Yeah, so if you really want to torture yourself with that, there it is. Go for it. Somebody paid for this. If it's your thing, go for it. But I don't understand you. Oh, you oohed again. Does that mean you try? It worked this time?
I told it not to put me live on YouTube and only put me live on Twitch. That always seems to work, but going live on both seems to be a flip of the coin.
Have you tried Restream?
Restream is what I use to go live on multiple channels.
Then why isn't it just working?
That's what I saw. That's what I thought.
Oh, Stoff, fuck off. Stoff is forwarding the link to the Discord.
I also thought that so fun fact, when I was doing my recording with Mara Keller, I was on the wrong Zoom. So I'm used to just logging into Zoom and hopping in here with you. But I was on a different account apparently than the one that I actually paid for Zoom on. So it killed our conversation 30 minutes in, which is weird because once upon a time Zoom didn't do that. It only did that if you had 3 or more people.
Yeah.
And now it does it whenever you're in a conversation at all, apparently. Which is stupid.
Sean Helfin says, at least you're not in Florida, which is getting hit with another hurricane right now. So y'all remember a couple weeks ago when I was...
I'm sorry, Mr. President, a second hurricane has hit the Florida.
Yeah, well, if y'all remember a couple weeks ago where I was all like, yay, I've hired an editor. Haha, let's be funny and make their life difficult. Yeah, my editor lives in an area that is hurricane adjacent. I'm not going to give details because I don't know. I don't have their permission to share their location, obviously, so I'm not going to share their location.
Everywhere in Florida is hurricane adjacent. It's in the fine print of the text of every property you buy in Florida.
Asina Salon says, better than a second Florida hitting the U.S.
But a second Florida already hit the U.S. It's called Texas.
Yeah. Texas is dry Florida.
And mermaids are wet elves.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I could see that. Vice Rhino is making the editor work through a hurricane. Yeah, I got out the whip.
Yep.
I don't care that you don't have electricity Cut that video, bitch. No.
Do it on your phone. Use
No.
Canva.
God, no. No, my standards are too high for that.
Okay, so ages ago, do you remember when like the wave of skeptic content creators came in about 4 years ago? There was another wave of them that all seemed to come in at the exact same time. This was the wave that like X-Cult Baby, Unholy Shade were in.
Okay.
I remember a bunch of the YouTubers from that era used their phones for editing, and I couldn't understand it then, and I can't understand it now.
Yep, nope.
But I remember that being a consistent thread amongst so many of them.
It's because it's all them damn Gen Zers.
Artemis, thank you for the follow. Silent CDN, thank you for resubscribing.
Okay. You have standards? I do, believe it or not.
Thank you for the hydrate stuff.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I am incredibly nitpicky about. That isn't necessarily the most visible in the finished product. But it's one of those things where like all these little things add up to a better product. And now look at the product that you get and think of how crappy it is, and is like, imagine how much worse it would be if I wasn't this nitpicky.
If you think the standards are low now, wait till you see what happened before I got my hands on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Okay. Yeah, and Fennec says, but it matters to you. It does, but some of it probably shouldn't. Some of it does matter, and like even if people aren't going to notice it, it will be one of those things where like I don't know why I didn't like the style of this video, but I didn't like it. But a lot of it is probably just me being neurotic.
Look, I have straight up, and not for my political content, because I try not to use that as a bludgeon here and where I live in Georgia. But I have, with my magic content, literally gone to random people in my card shop that I know watch me, and I've just gone like, hey, I changed this thing recently. I want firsthand feedback on that. Tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I could fix in the future.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll pretend to do that with the comment section, but it's mostly just engagement bait.
I mean, at least you're honest about it being engagement bait.
Yeah, I'm usually honest about that in the videos too. I'm like, hey, tell me what you think down below, and I will ignore it.
Shadow Wolf, thank you for resubscribing. Glad we have a hype train now.
Hype, hype.
Yay! Oh, wait, Rhino baiting my engagement. Yeah, Rhino baiting. It's
Rhino baiting?
he's the master of Rhino baiting.
Yeah, that I am. I'm a master Rhino baiter.
Just imagine if he wasn't a master at it.
I do it every day.
Every day.
Every day. Sometimes twice a day.
Every damn day.
Yeah.
Sometimes he does it for the dopamine rush before sitting down to edit because it's the only thing that pilots him forward.
Oh, I'm so sorry that Reploid woke up at this point. Okay. Shall we? Let's get on to the things, because I think the first one's going to take a while, and I don't know how much I've got in me tonight. So
I can tell you exactly what you've got in you. Dr. Apple Pie, thank you for gifting a community sub.
I've got Dr. Apple Pie in me?
No.
I think, okay, if that's what's going on here, I think whoever made that scenario happen didn't watch American Pie properly. Because pie's not supposed to go inside you, it's the other way around.
So what you have in you is water, 35 liters, carbon, 20 kilograms, ammonia, 4 liters, lime, 1.5 kilograms, phosphorus, 800 grams, salt, 250 grams, saltpeter, 100 grams, sulfur, 80 grams, fluorine, 7.5, iron, 5, silicone, 3 grams, and trace amounts of 15 other elements.
I'm willing to bet that none of those numbers are actually correct.
Everybody in my chat is going, Cirrus, no, not that. I get that reference.
What reference is that?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
It's anytime that a religious person tries to come up and give a like an explanation to the main character about the soul or anything, he'll flip out his book of what a human being is comprised of and go, "We don't have souls. This is what people are made of," and list them all out.
Plow King says, saltpeter? Oh, you didn't know that you were made of gunpowder?
Kawaii Chitsu says, surprisingly, those are all accurate.
Yeah,
Crispy
no, so
Coco says, someone's been watching too much Full Metal Alchemist.
So here's my thing is that I have done a similar breakdown of what is contained in the human body on my channel on more than one occasion. So when you said it was a reference, I was like, are you referencing my video, or did I accidentally reference something that I haven't seen? So yeah, I was a little bit confused there, and it was like, yeah, no, that sounds about right. I don't remember saltpeter being there.
Jump Point, thank you for the 5 community subs. And yeah, as people in my chat are noting, he only knows it because he tried to resurrect his mom using that information. It didn't work.
Monorail says if they made the movie American Pie today, it would involve a couch and a latex glove. Indeed it would. Okay, let's talk about something that Cirrus cares about very deeply.
How deep in me is it?
That is the children's cartoon Bluey.
I don't watch Bluey.
You should watch Bluey. Everybody should watch Bluey.
I recognize I should watch Bluey, but it doesn't mean that I have.
I guess it was Reploid that sent the $40. So I paid for this nonsense. Thank you, daddies. I'm posting this everywhere. It's so bad. It is so bad.
It is legitimately fairly awful.
Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I don't know why you're enjoying it, but I'm glad you are.
Look, everybody's got their kink, okay?
Yeah.
It is our job merely to ask why.
We are kink asking why, yeah. Oh, that's going to be the tagline of our channel eventually.
Uh-huh.
Yet, Fennec is asking if I'm sick. Yes, I am sick.
Yeah, sick as hell.
It made it easier for me to get Husker's low notes in the song, which aren't actually all that low, so that I didn't really need the help, but I had it.
The help was there, and it wasn't appreciated.
Yeah, I have my Kleenex box in my hat box, and it's actually for my nose this time. But
Yeah, so we must save the DILFs from the trans agenda.
What?
Sure. That's what Stoff said it, not me.
No, I understand what was being said. I'm just like wondering if that's where anyone is actually going with this, but I don't know. So the fun thing is, like, I don't know if you actually watched that thing that I dragged my partner into when you were gone the one week, where I like got out my yarn and push pins and we're like, they're actually a poly couple because they're doing this, like they have an open marriage. Are
we talking about the cuck chair?
No, we're not talking about the cuck chair. The cuck chair was a joke. I'm talking about like real plot points in the show.
Okay, but can we talk about the cuck chair?
No, the cuck chair's not interesting. The cuck chair isn't interesting. But yeah, so like I made this big thing about how like they're actually a poly couple, and I'm putting my own spin on this because everybody else that is like seeing the same thing is like, oh, they're cheating on each other, and I'm like, no, they clearly are like madly in love with each other. They are just in some form of polyamorous relationship where it is okay to do other things with other people, and they are happy with that, and they are fulfilled, and they have a good, healthy dynamic with it, and it's all great.
Fulfilled.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm kind of surprised that he didn't go that route with it, with like looking for the insidious hidden meaning or whatever. But
you just
sorry, Sean Helfin just distracted me with we're talking about how Bluey is allowed to go have fun as well as his wife with the other. Okay, Bluey is the daughter. Bandit is the father.
This is the reason why there's so many shirts that say I'm in my Bandit era.
I have my Bluey shirt that is it's not a dad bod, it's a father figure. It's got a picture of Bandit on it.
The content
I don't
fairy is going to come and harm me now.
I don't know why people are sending links to the Neocitrin website in my chat. Like I know why people would be recommending that I be drinking Neocitrin right now, but I don't know why they're sending links to the website.
Is
as if that's
Neocitrin just a citrus supplement?
It's a bit more than that. There's like some actual medicinal stuff. Like citrus is dubious medicinality. But like it is really good at like clearing out the sinuses, and most of that is probably just that you drink it hot, and so it's the steam, and the steam does it. But still,
Yeah, like zinc would do way more than citrus would here, and even zinc doesn't have a ton of conformational studies.
yeah. Well, it has Tylenol in it. Yeah. See, I knew it had actual stuff in it, not just
Yeah, the actual stuff is painkiller. Let's go.
You need Buckley's. Absolutely not. I am not doing Buckley's. I don't care if, like, they say it tastes awful and it works. I know. I get it. Can't do the taste awful. Just not doing it.
Tasting awful is enough of a reason.
Yep. I would rather have a stuffy nose than deal with the taste awful. Because, like, there have now been times in my life when, like, oh, we got the MASH references. Jocularity! Jocularity! Good old Father Mulcahy.
I haven't watched MASH in a long time.
Yeah, I want to say that's a good show, but I also haven't watched it in a long time, and I'm not sure that it holds up, because there's a lot of sexual harassment in that show.
There is,
but also
especially
like,
around the nurse.
Yeah, but you do have to have a certain amount of, but it was the time, and also they were portraying a thing that really happened, but then they were also playing it for laughs when it was actually a serious thing. I don't know, but anyway.
Stoff says no. I don't know what Stoff is saying no to. Specifically, just no.
Just no.
Just no. I don't know. My friends of mine who were involved in very progressive spaces back before I was even progressive, generally praised two shows a shit ton, and it was MASH and Star Trek, for being just very, very progressive for the time of what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I always found it a little bit funny that, like, MASH went on for about twice as long as the Korean War actually did. It was like the TV show about the Korean War, that a constant plot point in the show was, this is such a long war, when are we going to get to go home? That show actually lasted twice as long as the actual war did. So I always found that kind of funny.
The Daily Wire is going to bring me in as well. Don't think their contract pays really well. Gina doesn't say it does either.
I mean, Gina's suing to get away from them, so...
Oh, is she actually suing to get away from them?
No, she's not suing them. She's suing Disney to give her job back with Disney. I don't know what the result of that are yet, if anything.
I doubt it. What's she going to do? Say, hey, you didn't renew my contract? That's not how contracts work.
Yeah,
you can sue for a breach of contract.
Yeah, she's suing them to have them write her character back into the show, which is now over. Well, no, she was supposed to get her own show.
Is her character endearing enough to get her own show?
No. I don't think so. I didn't dislike her character.
I still need to watch...
Fennec is saying, who is this? Gina Carano. She was the MMA lady who was in a couple episodes of Mandalorian and was supposed to get her own show. But then she said transphobic stuff and refused to stop saying transphobic stuff on Twitter when her bosses said, please don't do that.
It was mostly right-wing conspiracy theories.
Oh, yeah, no, it was an Holocaust denial.
Yeah, it was saying that, like, the real Holocaust is what's happening to conservatives right now.
Yeah. And so Disney was like, hey, we don't want to be associated with this person. So, no, we're not going to make a show for you. Bye-bye. And then she was like, fine, I'll go work for the Daily Wire. And then they put her in, like, 2 things and paid her nothing. And now she's suing Disney to hire her again.
Please bring me back, Mr. Mouse Catool.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yep.
Freya says her character wasn't even that good. I didn't mind her character. I was never like, when you're watching a TV show and a really good character pops up on screen, and so you're just like jumping up and down waiting for more scenes with that character. That was not her character to me. I was never excited to see more of her character on the show.
Yeah. I can't say that. I can't say that I was sad to see her go. She's not a great actor. She started in MMA. Like, when you start your acting career by getting hit in the head a bunch, you're probably not going to be an A-lister anytime soon.
Unless you're in WWE.
Yeah, but that's all acting anyway.
Yeah,
So like
it
that
is.
kind of transitions nicely to a point.
I just shouldn't tell
I
that
don't.
to.
Okay, Dwayne Johnson might be like billing like an A-lister, but he doesn't act like an A-lister. He's okay. He's not a great actor. He's okay.
He acts like somebody who's going through life completing all of the side quests.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Right now, John Cena's doing the same thing.
Yeah, that he is. I don't understand why people keep casting WWE people in movies. Like, I get it for the Fast and the Furious franchise. I need a neti pot. Okay, people, stop trying to give me the home remedies for my stuffy nose, okay? I'm just gonna wait it out, because that's what I always do.
Okay, but have you tried the blood of the innocents?
One of my kids would have to not be guilty for me to pull that off.
Robbie says, give me a new Republic Ranger series with the older pilot and the hotshot rookie that may or may not be force sensitive. You know what I want them to give me? I want Star Wars to give me a proper Darth Bane series.
Okay. Fennec says, you live in Canada, go to the doctor. This is a small little viral infection. There's nothing the doctor can do for it. Like, yeah, there are probably antivirals, but, like, I don't need antivirals. Those can go to, like, an old lady who might die if she gets a virus. So the best thing I can do is just stay in my house, get as much sleep as I can, drink lots of liquids, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm seeing everybody having their hot takes on WWE wrestlers, and I am holding my tongue since I am now kind of friends with the next WWE wrestler.
I know nothing about any of them.
The only one that I've ever spoken to is Drew Gulak, and that's only because me and him are both working on the same video game. That's it. I had him on my secondary channel for an interview one time for fun, but we talked about Pokemon and shit, which I'm sure was riveting for people who wanted us to talk about things that he's actually known for. But I'm not as interested in wrestling, so I made it about video games.
That works. I issued a content warning, and I forget whether it was last Friday's video or this coming Friday's video. Because, yeah, I didn't know that the video that I was making was going to end up talking about rape a bunch. But it did.
Yeah.
And it was Mike Winger, and he brought up the verse in Numbers that is not just rape, but specifically child rape.
Oh boy.
And so it's like, I'm not going into details, but I talk about it a lot. So if you're uncomfortable with that, give this one a miss. I understand. Thought last week was Father Casey, so then that would be this coming week. I don't know. Okay. Hiring an editor is a good thing because now I have more time to spend with my children. But in some ways it's a bad thing because now I am even less in touch with my own content.
You film it and then you go to the next thing.
Yeah, because like before I would have to watch my videos through a minimum of 3 or 4 times because there's like I watch all of my stuff as I'm putting it together, and then I watch all of my stuff as I'm editing out my mistakes, and then I watch all of it as I'm like putting in the graphics that I'm using, and then I didn't always do this, and so there was a lot of stuff that got missed in previous videos, but like I would do like a final quality check watch through, and then it would finally get uploaded. Whereas now it's just like, yeah, no, I recorded my stuff. Done with that video. So, like, which video did I say this in? Was it last week? Was it this coming week? Was it the one before that? I don't know.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Has anybody made a full video yet dedicated to the idea of biblical scholarship as fandom? It's just fans of one thing arguing their particular interpretation of it, and other hyper fans of it disagreeing with them. They're just Star Trek nerds in a basement, bitching back and forth about who the better fucking captain is.
Except when looking at the question of what did the authors mean when they wrote this, there is a right and wrong answer for that. Now, what that right and wrong answer is might be completely lost to history, and we may never know for sure what it would be. But whereas, like, in Star Trek, debating whether or not the transporter clones you and kills you every time, and whether or not that's a philosophical nightmare, or if it's actually okay. Or like the Tuvix episode. Was Janeway justified in essentially killing Tuvix to get Tuvok and Neelix back? So that's a philosophical question that's not designed to have a correct answer, but like, when it comes to science fiction or whatever, that's just like, a lot of times it's just people post hoc rationalizing things. Whereas for this, like, there are contextual clues, like the sentence actually reads a lot smoother without that verse in it. So it's clearly a later interpolation. And there are other context clues that suggest a time frame for that. And the time frame when it was probably inserted in was also a time when a lot of the books of the Bible were written describing how the Israelites were like intermarrying with other cultures.
So it
was part of the Babylonian exile sort of thing.
So you're right. It's not Star Trek nerds. You've corrected me, and I accept it. It's Star Wars nerds, wondering which revision of George Lucas came in, and if it adds or takes away from the original contextual value of the piece.
Sure.
I accept my defeat, and I revise my position accordingly.
So on the Star Wars point, I've always kind of been of the assumption, like, because I when I watch Star Wars, I watch the despecialized edition, the ones that you have to pirate, and like, these people went to great lengths to remove all of the special edition stuff and make as close a movie to what originally released in theaters in 1977 and the other two's respective release years. Because I think they are better than the special edition, because there was a lot of stuff that George Lucas just threw in because, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could have a big CGI creature, because CGI is new and fun, and it doesn't matter that it clutters the yeah, like stuff like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, no, we can do without that. But then I kind of wish that there was like a hybrid of that, where, because not all the changes were bad. The Millennium Falcon taken off from Mos Eisley, way better in the special edition. The X-Wings and Y-Wings and such taken off at Yavin, way better in the special edition. So, like, I feel like there's a compromise to be had there.
See, Axo says, I hate the Star Wars fandom. I just sit in my corner with my friends and have a dumb little OC who runs around and does things and stuff. Star Wars has one of the worst fandoms of all time. It's true. But at the same time, it is one of the most fun franchises ever.
Yeah.
That doesn't excuse its shitty fandom. It's just a point of fact.
I've always kind of liked the fandom, but not because they're inherently good, but because it's really fun to trigger them. Like,
But there's the use of the word trigger flippantly.
Yeah. I'm sorry. But no, I actually I enjoy. So, like, I think the prequels were kind of garbage. They were okay, but like, The original trilogy was better. I like what H-Bomber guy does when he'll occasionally be like, he'll just throw some random joke in there about how the prequels were actually better, or he's a prequel defender or whatever. And like, he just doesn't leave any room for debate. It's just like, no, they're just objectively better. Moving on. And I think that's hilarious because like I know there are people that are going to get really, really upset by that, and it's literally nothing. It's just a show that you like, or a movie that you like. It's okay for other people to have different opinions.
I'm gonna be honest. I like the original trilogy more, but the prequel trilogy is one that gets better every time I watch it. And I don't know if that's just me getting older and like caring more about the political subterfuge plot than I did when I was a kid.
I just can't deal with episode 1. Like 2 and 3 were okay. 3's got the big final climax scene that's pretty awesome, but
2 is the one that I can't stand. 2 has some of the worst dialogue of any of the movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alpha, shut the fuck up. Oh, whoa. Stupid fucking whoa.
Jester, been a member for 5 months, thank you, says, I want a version with the early big scenes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so if you want a version with the early big scenes, it does exist. It does exist, actually. The Star Wars radio drama keeps in the early big scenes because the radio drama was made in its entirety before the final version of the film was cut. So a lot of the cut content from the film makes its way into the radio drama. So if you want that version of Star Wars, it exists, and it's fucking great. Anyway, awesome.
Dark Excalibur says, legit, the core is fun. Absolutely.
The core is a fun fucking film.
The core has made me laugh way harder than any comedy ever has. And it was like, it was at scenes that were supposed to be serious. Like when lightning strikes a completely concrete building and it bursts into flames. Like that just, I don't know, it just made me laugh. It was hilarious.
The ozone starts getting stripped away and everything just instantly melts.
I don't remember that.
It's when the planet stands still before they restart the planet's core, and it's at the Golden Gate Bridge, and the ozone layer starts peeling away, and the sun just starts instantly melting and boiling everything it touches within a nanosecond.
I'm gonna have to watch it again because I don't remember that.
Which feel like it feels so weird that scene exists when we know that we can put people on the moon with just as much exposure to the sun and no atmosphere, and they don't fucking boil like that.
Yeah. All right.
Like, no, the core's a fun film. I watched it. It was actually my science teacher, the one that turned me on to the idea of evolution, was the one that made us watch the core in class. And then I watched it 2 or 3 more times afterwards because I was like, no, this film's awesome. I love it. I like garbage.
We got some Manos Hands of Fate quotes going on in the chat. I don't know. Okay, so Manos Hands of Fate is one of those movies where, like, I remember it being fun and hilarious and just fun to watch or whatever, but when you're actually watching it, there's these long stretches of just nothing happening where it's like, this isn't fun. This movie should be like 27 minutes long if you cut out all of the useless blank scenes. But there's also a lot of fun behind the scenes stuff in that. Like the actor playing Torgo literally tripping balls the entire time. So like the reason he walks the way he does is because he can't walk any other way. There's also like the couple that they spend way too much time with that are like making out on the road that the cop keeps bumping into. The reason they spend so much time on them, even though they have they have nothing of anything to do with the plot, is because the woman in that car was promised the lead role, but she broke her leg. And so the director was like, okay, well, you can still have a role, and I guess we'll try and make it a bigger role than we would otherwise. There were actually a bunch of scenes that were supposed to be nude scenes, but when they had to switch actresses, the new actress was like, no, I'm not getting naked. And so there's a lot of moments where it's like she'll take off a dress and then be wearing another dress underneath. And it's not like a night slip kind of dress, it's just like a slightly smaller dress.
Oh my god.
And it's just it's so good bad, but also bad bad. I don't know. I had a crazy like one of those nights where kept on waking up and falling back to sleep or whatever. I had a dream that just continued on through all the interruptions, and it was I worked at an old restaurant that I got fired from before, and I was like advocating to start a union there.
Huh.
So yeah,
Based Rhino, even in his dreams.
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details because it's a fucking dream. It's like it's nonsensical. Like eventually this restaurant that I really worked at in my real life became a restaurant in Central America somewhere that I was working at temporarily. Like I've never worked at a restaurant in Central America. Okay, brains are weird. Empower Palpatine, do it. I don't know what do it is referencing there, so I'm not going to promise anything.
Do it. Do it now.
Yeah, no, I know that reference. I don't know what they're telling me to do.
Cut off his head.
Yeah, so... And in the same way, creating a daughter named Bluey using the color blue is totally lost on us. It goes right past our conscious awareness. If we do think about it, we think it's cool that they're reversing gender stereotype of colors. Oh my god! We skipped the part where it's significant that Bluey is blue because blue is a boy color, but Bluey is a girl.
Oh, no.
Fuck. Who wants to tell him about the 1800s?
Who wants to tell him about Blue's Clues?
Was Blue from Blue's Clues a girl?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. There was an embarrassing amount of time in my life when I thought that Bluey was the name of the dog on Blue's Clues because I knew of one children's cartoon that had a blue dog, and everybody was talking about this children's cartoon with a blue dog named Bluey. So I was like, okay, that must be Blue's Clues.
Jesus. All right, I need to leave you for a few minutes to run to the restroom. So,
okay.
My body hates me.
Have fun with that. I will tab over to the next story so that we can stop talking about Bluey, which we've been doing for an hour and 10 minutes now. Yeah, that's 10 minutes. I can do math. The 1800s color distinction was my thought. Yeah, no, it wasn't until about the 1930s that it started changing to pink was for girls and blue was for boys. Before that, it was that pink was seen as a diluted red, and red is a very masculine and passionate color, whereas blue is a very passive and cool color, so it's more feminine. But then it was... It started flipping in fashion. Move on to the next story, please, Sean. I know, I'm waiting for Cirrus to get back. I'm waiting for Cirrus. I'm being polite. Blue was also associated with the Virgin Mary, if I recall correctly. Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Rhino the type of dad to call every console and Nintendo. No, I would not fucking do that. Are you crazy? I get mad when people call the SNES the SNES, because I think that sounds stupid. It's an SNES. Or you can call it a Super Nintendo. But SNES? What the fuck? But, yeah, no. I had a GameCube, I had a Wii. I have a Switch. I have had a PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 4. They're not just all Nintendo. What about Super Nintendo Entertainment System? That's if you're a dork. Not a nerd, a dork. Dark Shiguri says, as a fellow gamer, I agree with not saying SNES. Yeah, because SNES just sounds stupid. Oh, come on, Cirrus. I can't entertain these people. My feelings on the new PSA. Ha, ha, ha. You can't get me. I know they're only at PS6. Get it? Yeah. Oh, Lord of Uzkalak is a SNESer. You're a SNESer. Ugh. Rosina
Well,
says, which president wore a pink dress? Roosevelt? I don't know about a president wearing a pink dress, but I think it was Roosevelt's. It was one of the first ladies that kind of started the pink is for girls thing by wearing pink dresses all the time. Might have been Roosevelt, but I don't remember. My God, Sirs is taking a long time. This is a shit. This is another shit. Someone's got to tell him to shit before the stream. This is unacceptable. Streamers aren't allowed to have bodily functions during the stream. Everybody knows that. Thank you for the hydrate, Dirk Shigure. I'm trying. Maybe he's simply washing his dick after having a pee. Dude, if you spend this long washing your dick, it's not washing it, it's masturbating. Actually, it's the original Super Famicom. Yep. But the Super Famicom actually looked different from the SNES that we got in North America, so they are two distinct consoles. And if that's not enough Nintendo lore for you to accept that I don't just call all the consoles Nintendo, I don't know what would be. If I say ooh enough times, I can make him say ooh.
ooh, ooh,
Ooh, small beans, little babies.
ooh,
Ooh, small.
ooh, ooh,
Ooh,
ooh.
What are we?
Oh, that's the wrong one.
So I was.
Nope.
It starts.
I thought I had.
Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost,
Nope,
fire,
that's
Holy
that's
Ghost,
my partner.
fire, Holy Ghost, fire.
I don't know what's going on. That's ridiculous.
Please don't tell me that I just came.
I have that one.
Sometimes I pull on it so hard, I rip the skin.
I really should check what's on these sound buttons before I play them for the whole stream.
Fucking pronouns!
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Please don't tell me that I just came. Please don't tell me that I just came.
Yeah, I don't know why there's only like 3 uwus on there.
Oh,
I should have more than that.
Ooh,
But
ooh.
yeah, we got the Holy Ghost fire from my partner, along with her air horn. So yeah, this is what it devolves to while we're waiting for Cirrus to pee, is me just pushing buttons. Yeah, what are we even talking about, Rob Gibbons? No one tells Cirrus that he just came? Well, I mean, if he's been washing his dick this long, it's masturbation, so...
Please don't tell me that I just came.
Sean says, oh no, we've now unlocked Rhino's urge to write a new song with his keyboard. No, I can't write songs. I wish I knew how to use a sampler so I could, like, turn just random clips of people saying things into a song. What's Cirrus cooking? Right now he's cooking up a big old turd. So... Oh, did I pronounce it right on the first try? That might have been an accident because I seem to recall, like, my tongue kind of slipping and get it. So, Dark Shigure. But I feel like the first time I said it, I kind of slurred the end there, so if I got it right, it was an accident. Cirrus. The fuck, Cirrus, come on. Apparently Shigure is correct. Yeah, Rhino looks lost because, okay, I used to do Twitch tweets by myself. And that was not great, but it was okay because I always had something to say about whatever article I was reading. But the whole, like, hey, entertain the crowd while we wait for someone to get back, and you can't move on because, like, then he's just going to be lost when he gets back. Like, this is a weird limbo state for me, and I don't like it. And I'm not as good at narrating people in the toilet as Cirrus is. So I can't do the thing that he does when I go. Cirrus got sucked off into Milton. That sounds like it might be kind of hot, actually. Not gonna lie. You can do it, Rhino. Yeah, no, I'm just responding to you guys saying things. This is the most chat interaction you're going to get this whole stream, so. Do we have an evangelical shit song? We do, but when I play it, they take half my money from the stream, which is more generous than copyright claims usually go, so that's not terrible, but I'd still rather not give them any money. So, text Cirrus to be... Okay, I will message Cirrus. My chat is worried that you fell in. Everything okay? There we go. Rhino needs a fez. Well, you can send a fez to P.O. Box 343 something 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 something. I don't know. Exclamation mark P.O. Box on Twitch will tell you where to send it. Did you see Cirrus' congressional candidate interview since you don't watch your own? No, I didn't see it, but he did tell me about it a little bit. Oh, hey. You know what I can do while we're waiting for Cirrus? I can get everybody mad by updating everybody on my asshole neighbor. So yeah, he called my oldest child a whore. Just walked past her, said, she's a whore. And kept walking. And yeah, they were in the middle of having an autistic meltdown at the time, and that did not help things. And he then stood around the corner from them, laughing for the next, like, 10 minutes. So yeah, he's a piece of shit who harasses children. So yeah, everybody in the chat saying jail. Yeah, we did call the police. And apparently there has to be, like, it can't just be a one-off event. There has to be an established pattern. So, yeah, we have security cameras up. They have audio recording. And he has been verbally warned. Yeah, okay, and your neighbor is alive. Yeah, no, calling the police was probably the better option that I could have taken from the things that I was considering. That is Cirrus. We got a message back from Cirrus. Toilet update. I drank 44 ounces of water and my body decided that was a fucking mistake. Yeah, legally speaking, probably the better option. Yeah, no, because legally speaking, as long as we're always taking the higher... Because this is not the first time we've had the police involved with them. And so, every single time the police have been involved, we have been the people that have been in the right, and they've been telling him to, like, no, you need to stop doing that. And so since there is now, like, they keep records, so there is now a police record of every time the police come to our house, whether it's us that call them or them that call them, the police side with us and tell him to stop doing the stupid shit that he's doing. So if he continues shit like this, it should not be hard to actually press charges. And apparently, according to the cop yesterday, he was, like, absolutely terrified at the idea of having charges pressed against him, so hopefully he'll just stop and behave like a normal human. Is Cirrus back?
lived.
you survived?
I did not realize that my body was going to take that poorly to drinking that much water in such a short span of time.
Okay.
I also wasn't aware until this moment that enough water is an instant diuretic.
Hmm.
Now I know that I need to pace myself better.
Yeah, okay. So I was just updating chat on my my neighbor situation. Axo saying kid's a minor, that's creepier than calling an adult a whore. So his defense when the cop went over was that like, oh, I just don't like the way they were treating their child.
What?
And so I wasn't actually insulting the child. And it's like, okay, no. You're on video.
But you called the child a what?
Okay, well, so his words were she's a whore. No one was out there except for my oldest at the time. Now, my partner had just come back inside the house, like she was out there, and then she just came back in, so he might have been referencing her. The way it looked to me on the video feed was that he was calling my kid a whore. But
that's how I would have taken that too.
Yeah. But he says that he was trying to protect the kids because
protect
he
your
didn't
kids
like,
from what?
From me and my partner. He doesn't like the way we treat them, so he was trying to protect them by calling them names.
How does that? No.
And then laughing at them. What's the best part though is that so we have the whole thing on video, and like he was standing right around the corner where he thought that he couldn't be seen, and when he thought that someone was like going to look around the corner and see it, he literally ran away. Like literally ran away like a fucking dog with its tail between its legs. He's such a fucking coward.
That's where and I'm not suggesting you do the things that I'm about to say, nor would I suggest anybody do the things that are about to come out of my mouth. But that's when you politely knock on a person's door, and the minute they open it and say hi, they lose a tooth.
Yeah, no, that was on my list of things that I considered. I decided to settle for calling the police. Another thing that I'm considering is setting up like a monitor on one of our windows that faces their backyard and having the video of him running away on a loop while blaring yakety sax. Because I think that would be hilarious. We're also going to there's a little old lady that like is friends with my kids, and like they'll walk dogs and go chat with her for a bit. So she talks to everybody in the neighborhood. So I'm going to ask her and be like, hey, can you just like keep an eye out, and like if you see him outside at the same time with my kids, can you just give me a text as like a way of like telling her what happened, so that then that information will spread to the rest of the neighborhood, and he's someone who cares very much about his reputation. So
oh, he's one of those people that gets off on putting other people down because it feels like it makes him have more status.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like this is, like I said, this is not the first time we've had the police involved, and every single time he has had some form of excuse that revolves around trying to protect my kids from something. And every single time that's just been blatantly false. So he wants to be seen as the good guy. He can't just be like, yeah, no, I insulted someone. What of it? He has to pretend like somehow insulting someone is protecting a child, even when the someone you are insulting is that child.
You don't understand. I am the hero of this story. You may not see it now,
Anyway,
but eventually you will understand.
I'm pretty sure the Super Nintendo in Oklahoma wants to lead Trump's Department of Education, and this is him trying out. I thought Trump's Department of Education was going to be one that doesn't exist.
Also, you said the Super Nintendo? You mean the superintendent?
No. Rosina said Super Nintendo. That is a Simpsons reference.
Oh.
Where Ralph is looking up and saying, I'm learning Super Nintendo, Chalmers. I am on point today. I'm getting all the references today, except for that one about the water and stuff, but that I got that as a reference to myself. So I'm winning. I'm winning, son.
You're doing it. I'm so proud of you. Look at you.
Yeah, normally you make all these references that I don't get, but today it is working.
Today it is different, for you see.
I should be sick and completely out of it more often, because like my brain has not been braining today. Like we have a cabinet in the house that has all the snacks in it, and it is locked because we have more than one child who compulsively steals snacks if they are not locked up. Yeah, we spent longer than I'd like to admit looking for the keys tonight, and then it turns out that when I packed the kids' lunches this morning, I just left the key in the lock all day. Because that's how my day's going. Oh, I should probably make sure the car's locked. Well, I'm thinking of locks. Doors are locked. Okay.
You did it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, hey, that was our third story. We can go to the tweets now.
Holy shit, we did it.
Yay.
I'm so excited for us.
I'm so excited. And I just can't hide. My dad always used the NIV, says Fennec. Yep. I have my confirmation Bible is an NIV. That's the one that I've shown in some of my videos. That it has removable Corinthians because I've had it for so long and I actually use it quite a bit.
The removable Corinthians, it's definitely a feature.
Yeah, no, it's right here. It's got my removable Corinthians. Actually, no, that's just one page. That's the couple books. It starts with Philemon. But yeah, no, I've had this book since I was 13, and I used it.
You just call it Philemon instead of Philemon?
Sure. That's what it says. It says Philemon.
I
know I'm saying it wrong. I'm
not gonna even try to fight against that because I don't care enough about the Bible anymore.
Yeah, no, I know it's Philemon. I'm going to blame my sick brain for that.
Philemon sounds like it's a Digimon.
I have this book to thank for realizing that the NIV actually was doing some shenanigans in their 2011 update. Because my copy of the book in the mustard seed thing, it says that the mustard seed is the smallest of all your seeds. But if you go to the 2011 version, it doesn't have the word your in there. So, like, this one was engaged in some apologetics to try and make that not a problem. Because if it's the smallest of all your seeds, that could be a limited set of seeds, of which the mustard actually is the smallest. Whereas if it's the smallest of all seeds, that's just an incorrect statement.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, I have this book to thank for pointing out that contradiction to me. And it's contradictions between the same version.